So Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks, is up to his neck with hypocrisy. So for those who don't recognize the name Cenk Uygur, here's a clip of him.
No white straight male needs an AK-15. Okay, and they'll say, oh, well, what about the founding? No, okay, that's not what they meant.
Whoops, sorry. I guess that was Steven Crowder. That's a hell of an imitation, though. That's impressive.
Impressive. Most impressive.
All right, here's the right clip of Cenk.
And one of the accusers, Lisa Boynt, said, this is something that is so horrific. I'm so fed up of listening to people. We take it in like it's nothing. We shouldn't teach our boys to talk like this, referring to the Hollywood Access tapes, or Access Hollywood tapes. And by the way, a lot of the accusers said we shouldn't have our kids learn these lessons, whether it's Al Franken or Donald Trump.
Remember this clip, because it will tie in nicely with what is to come. So in the year 2000, Cenk Uygur, host and founder of the Young Turks, posted some sexist and inappropriate comments on a blog, primarily regarding women. Here's an example of one particular post.
It seems like there is a sea of tits here, and I'm drinking in tiny droplets. I want to dive into the whole goddamn ocean. Obviously, the genes of women are flawed. They are poorly designed creatures who do not want to have sex nearly as often as needed for the human race to get along peacefully and fruitfully.
But wait a second. Didn't Cenk attack Trump when the Access Hollywood tape leaked?
Okay, no, we crossed the line here, okay? We found the line and we clearly crossed it. And then to me, I know this is gonna sound weird, but maybe the most disturbing part was when they got off the bus. Yeah. Because it's a lot of guy talk, okay? And Billy Bush being as pathetic as a human can be. Totally.
But Donald has scored. I want you to like me.
Yeah, hug him, hug the Donald. No, that's it. When they got off, it went from the natural flow of that conversation, they're talking about the hot girls and stuff, and you see a hot girl, you want to talk about it, I get it, guys are guys, right? But then they're like, hug the Donald, right? And then hug me. And I was like, oh, if I had just seen them getting off the bus, I think it's no big deal. They just got a hug. Come on, calm down, right? Mm-hmm. But when you see the flow of the conversation, you're like, oh, this is what they do, right? And hey, the Donald is here. Come on, give him a hug. And he's ready. He's got the Tic Tacs in, and he's ready to make whatever cheesy movie he's going to make. And of course, they're not going to do it on tape once the cameras are rolling and they're off the bus. But God knows what happens later.
Well, this seems strange that Cenk would say these things, especially after he said this on his blog some years back.
Women, ignore these at your peril. Rule number 1, there must be some serious making out by the 3rd date. If I haven't felt your tits by then, things are not about to last much longer. In fact, if you don't get back on track by the 4th date, you're done. Rule number 2, there must be orgasm by the 5th date.
Now, one could construe that Cenk Uygur is synonymous with what he is accusing Donald Trump of. Right, Cenk?
I had one of the best nights of my life at Mardi Gras. I kissed over 23 different women, saw and felt countless breasts, and was in a wonderful drunken stupor thanks to my friend, Jack Daniels.
Now wait a second. You're probably wondering what Cenk had to say about his past comments. I mean, every man deserves to have a defense. So why did Cenk say these things and act in this fashion? Oh, that's right. It was because he was a conservative at the time.
I had not yet matured, and I was still a conservative who thought that stuff was politically incorrect and edgy. When you read it now, it looks really, honestly, ugly, and it's very uncomfortable to read.
So apparently, according to Cenk, someone's political predisposition is a driving force behind that person's motives regarding women's rights. That's interesting. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't recall that one of the Republicans' political platforms was sexism. I don't recall them ever advocating for the abuse of women or women's rights. Not only that, here are a couple tweets he made in 2013, long after he was supposedly a conservative. It's just very funny that Cenk tries to blame a political affiliation for his disgusting words and actions. Then, at the same time, he preaches to Donald Trump on top of his pedestal and tries making these wild accusations that Trump is a disgusting human being and needs to stop blaming others for his actions. Most people can see Cenk for what he is, which is a hypocritical reprobate who preaches in his mock superiority while trying to denounce the actions of those he disagrees with by attacking their character and not the substance of their argument. Somebody who laughs and attacks those, as an example, who disagree with climate change, since almost all of the scientific community say it's real, but willfully ignores the truth of the Armenian genocide, which pretty much all scholars claim has happened. But yet, the Young Turks have millions of followers that worship the ground Cenk walks on, and in their minds, he can do no wrong. I guess ignorance truly is bliss. They will use this issue as motivation to denigrate the conservative movement and try to align Cenk's past reprehensible sexist actions with that of the conservative philosophy. And Cenk, being the narcissist that he is, will let this happen, as he preaches the need for third-wave feminism on top of his high horse. But hopefully his fans will begin to wake up and see him for what he really is. A hypocritical, sexist, misanthropic misogynist who is everything he claims Donald Trump is and represents. Thank you, Cenk, for showing us all the light. If you like what you see here, please share the video and consider subscribing and being a patron. The Piper Report is an alternative news source that reports on news you won't hear from the corporate media, and a special thanks to my patrons. And I'm done.